sharing the information with the user. At the same time, is fulfill the requirement and the accountability. So please bear in mind and then extend your understanding on that. So don't say that financial statement is same as the financial reporting. Financial statement is the end of the process or the output of the accounting process, output of the financial accounting process, end of the financial accounting process. That is we call the financial statement. But financial reporting is comprised of the financial statement and non-financial statement. That is the purpose of the financial reporting is first to sharing the information. We want to share the information with the users. Second is to meet the requirement, because you remember you open the Federal Constitution, look back at the Article 99. So you look on the Article 99, there is requirement to prepare the financial statement, which is comprised of the balance sheet. So asset and liability of the annual financial statement that is comprised of the asset and liability of the federation. So you look on the Article 99(4). That is the second. And the third is to discharge the accountability. Why we talk about the discharge accountability? Because this is the way the steward who are entrusted with the fund, with the public fund, deliver whether they are accountable or not. Whether they are accountable or not. Why? Because they are entrusted with the power to manage the fund. So therefore, they are request the legislative to approve what they are intended to do through the budget. And then later on, the approval are given by the legislative. Legislative give the approval, and then after given the approval, the executive implement the budget, or we call the budget execution. And then after implement, are they achieve or not the objective of the spending being met, program be create, and so on. So how to show that? They are showing through the financial report. So they are showing through the financial report. So therefore, you need to understand that financial report have a three main purpose or objective. So sharing the info with the users, including the legislative. Secondly, meeting the requirement, because that is the requirement need to be met. And the third one is discharging the accountability. So therefore, in simple, we can see that the purpose of the financial reporting also back to the financial management activity, which is to meeting the legal and to achieve the accountability. Okay, so this is the concept of the financial reporting versus financial statement, and which is you can look directly what are the different of that matters, because I already said that about them sharing and communicate the info. Okay, and then this is the some of the statutory requirement of the financial report. And then if you look there, we have a general, which is Constitution, FVA, Audit Act, TI, FTC. This is standardized for the federal and state government, while local government act and statutory body act, this is specific for this agency only. And then other statutory or act and also the accounting standard, which is accounting standard, are also uh, uh, found for local government and statutory bodies. Okay. Okay, so this is the federal constitution. As I said that the article 99 for that is required the federal government to prepare and submit to parliament. Submit to parliament, because they need to submit to parliament. Why submit to parliament? Because parliament approve the budget, and then they need to show their accountability on that matters. And FPA, which is you look back on 97, because when we talk about this, it is talk about around the consolidated fund. The accounting is talk about the consolidated fund. Therefore, when you remember, when we talk about the financial management, we are not go away from the consolidated fund. Why? Because there is the account that purposely deal with that. The government don't have any other debt, because this is the account that mentioned under the Article 97. Okay, and then in the section 16, so you look on the section 16, which is need to show the statement of CRA, statement of CLA, statement of CTA, and statement of account of fund created by the Federal Constitution under the section 10 of the uh, um, uh, trust account, but not accounted in the consolidated trust account. So how to know this matter? You look back on the page 5. So if you look on the page 5, you can see that some of the account, they are not under the consolidated trust account, but some they are under the CTA. So like, for example, deposit, development fund, this is all under the CTA. But some they are not under the CTA, but they are also the account need to be created by the Federal Constitution. Okay, and then next is the all that statement need to be audited and examined by the Auditor General. Who are the Auditor General? This is the external auditor for the public sector in Malaysia. So external auditor is the Auditor General. And in delivering their service, Auditor General will be helped by the National Audit Department, NAD. Okay, and then who are responsible to prepare? The Accountant General. So the Accountant General, they are responsible to prepare. So we have here the person who are responsible on that. Okay, and then this is the statement that need to be included in the financial report, which is the statement that need to be prepared. So that is consists of the statement of financial position or balance sheet, statement of cash receipt and payment, statement of financial performance, statement of memorandum account, and not to the financial statement. So later, we will look on the what have been practiced by the federal government by you open the attached file that I include in your online learning. Okay, so and then this is the Audit Act, which is the Audit Act. We are talk about them financial statement, financial report. That is the requirement from the Audit Act that need to be followed by the government. So need to be followed. And then this normally stress on the time. Why time? Because that is useless is if we are providing them information outdated. So providing the outdated information. What means of outdated information means that the release of the financial statement are a little bit outdated due to the failure to the submission of the account to the audit for the auditing purpose. So therefore, the Audit Act stress on the when should the government submit their account to auditor to be audit, because audit also taken the time to examine all the um, financial statement prepared, and then by the year end it should be able to table in the parliament for the approval. Parliament is one of the users. Parliament is one of the users. You need to understand that, not say that, oh, Parliament, because there is requirement. No, Parliament is also one of the users, one of the important users, because Parliament can make decision on that. Okay, that is for the federal and state and their agency, excluding the statutory body and the local government. So for statutory body, they are bound by the SBA. So you need to refer to the SBA. So in your rules and regulation, we have SBA. So SBA, and then we need to refer to the section 5 and 6 on the audit of account, section 8 submission and tabling of account, and then section 7 and 9 on the extension of the time limit. So therefore I say that SBA, this is a purposely for the statutory bodies. Why statutory body need to have their own? Because statutory body are the agency who enjoy autonomy power. So when they are enjoy autonomy power, their managers, their controlling officers need to be responsible. They have their own responsible. They need to show their responsibility. They need to follow the requirement. So they are separated. If you talk about them, other agency who are not enjoy the autonomy power, they do not enjoy the responsibility. They do not require to show their accountability to the outsiders, but they are responsible to show their accountability to the top managers. Top managers is to the executive. So because they are under the executive, they are not free to make their own decision. Any decision on the financial matters, they need to get the approval. So which is we talk from the example on the environment. So you look back on the environment procedure. Who are who have a power to approve the environment. So this is example of the uh, um, autonomy power which is do not enjoy by the um, other agency except the statutory body and local government. Okay. And then this is the FTC, which is they are provide the um, guidance for the FSB to prepare their account for the publication, which is outline the minimum disclosure requirement. What are the minimum disclosure requirement? So therefore, I say that when we talk about the financial reporting, it not just talk about the statement, but other than that. Okay, and then this is the statement that need to be prepared by the uh, FSB based on the FTC number 4 2008. But later on in the later stage, I think around 2017, the statutory body prepare the account based on the PERS, on the based on the accounting standard provided by the accountant general, namely private entity reporting standard PERS. So this is when the government decide to start implement the full accrual base. So the full accrual base. So as we discussed before, who are the parties responsible on the accounting matters in Malaysia? This is the accountant general. So therefore, if we talk about the standard in the public sector, please do not look at the standard provided by the what we call them other agency like MIA, for example. MIA is also the government agency because MIA is more toward on the private sector. So, but in public sector, we have the accountant general who are control on that matters. Okay, and then for local government, so local government, so for local government, we also need to refer to the LGA, Local Government Act. So you look on the Act 171, Local Government Act 1976, which is LGA 1976. They are talk about the account that need to be maintained and managed by the local government. So need to be maintained and managed by the local government. But you refer to the section 54, if I'm not mistaken, in the local government acts. You refer to the local government acts on the audit of account. So you can see that the page page 43 on the audit of account under section 60, and then section 53, that account need to be kept. Okay, so similar to the statutory body, local government act, starting with the 2017 onward, they are adopt the MPSAS. So in preparing their statement. So therefore, you need to be careful in the textbooks format for the local government. If you look on the chapter 2 on the local government, on the page 91, 92. So there is the format based on the MASB. This is MASB format. That is the earlier format. Before that, the local government, they are prepared their account based on the MASB. But starting with the 2017, 2017 actually, this is the transition period. And then starting 2018, 2018 onward, they are fully based on the MPSAS. So MPSAS. So later we can look what are the format on MPSAS, which is under the MPSAS. So the transaction on the revenue being grouped into exchange and non-exchange transaction. So not like in the MASB. If you look on the page 92, so on the income, they are not classified based on the exchange and non-exchange. So there is a difference between what have been in the textbooks and what have been practiced currently for the local government. Okay, so this is the requirement on the local government. So as I said that this is under MPSAS. So and then which is starting 2018. Starting 2018. 2017 is transition. Starting 2018, all the local government are required to adopt the MPSAS. So the under MPSAS 1, this is among the statement that need to be prepared by the local government. Statement of the financial position, statement of the financial performance, statement of the changes in net asset equity, cash flow, and so on. But never mind, this matter, this is the concept that you need to understand. But later on, we can show you the format and also the content of the financial report for selected local government that I already installed in the, I already upload in your online learning. So for you to look, and then we can make a comparison with the requirement here. Okay, so this is the principle. Similar, we need to be based on the 97. That is talk about the revenue, that is the inflows. Must be clear about that matters. And then this is the objective. As I said that, legal and then accountable. This is the very basic of that. So on the legal and accountable. So why? Because we are dealing with the public fund. So when dealing with the public fund, as a steward, you need to show your accountability toward the management of the public fund. And then this is the number 3, which is I already said that to share the information for users to make a decision. So share the information uh, to help the users, and then the users, or more the important users are the legislative. Okay, so this is we talk about them, how to share it, them reliable, relevance, and useful of the information. So to make it, this income and expenditure are summarized. So this is to explain to you why in the uh, um, what we see in the accounting process that we study, or we discussed in last time, why we need to debit or we credit the general object, not the detailed object. So when you talk about the account need to be debit and need to be credit, when we talk about the expenditure or revenue, we use the general object, because at the end, the income and expenditure need to be summarized, and then balance sheet give a one-page picture. So if we are talk about a detail, how can we able to uh, uh, give in a one-page picture? Because a lot of item need to be appear. Okay, so this is the basic on that matters on the users. And then, as I said, that the users comprise of the internal and external. So among the external is the legislative, customer, public. So we all, as a public citizen, we are also as the external users, and then internal users like the cabinet members, state executive, top administrator, labor union, and so on. Okay, so this is the qualitative characteristic need to be have, which is understand, reliable, relevant, and comparable. So this is straightforward. I hope you can understand directly. Okay, so that we look on the financial report for federal and state government. We taken the federal government as a sample for this group, and then for because why, financial report for federal and state government, this is the financial report for the entity who practice the MCB, who practice the MCB. On the other hand, we have another group which is the uh, um, local government and statutory body, which is the entity who are practice the accrual base. So for the MCB, we will concentrate on the federal government, and then for the AB accrual base, we will concentrate on the local government. So one of them will appear in the final exam. So therefore, you need to be careful and understand. Um, you are required to prepare the financial statement um, for this particular entity. Depend lah, whether they are accrual based or modified cash based. Okay, so this is a basic for that, and then what happening inside the federal government financial statement. I think this matter I um, um, move direct to the what had been practiced. So please open your um, federal public account. So this is the federal public account, which is we are taken on the BI version. So you go to the page on the BI version, because some of us is foreigner. This. Start with the page 307. Federal government financial statement for the year 2020. So you open for yourself, because it's easy for us to look and then understand how to prepare, what kind of information, how to uh, 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 um, report the particular information inside the financial statement for the federal government. Okay, so you can see here, federal government financial statement are prepared by the accountant general. So as I said that, who responsible to prepare? The accountant general, because the accountant general is the uh, authority who are responsible on that. And then in preparing the financial statement, they need to be complied with the section 16.1. Section 61 of the FPA. So you open section 61. What section 61 talk about? So that is the way how to study and understand. If not, so you will not able to understand. You just look here. So what actually section 61 talk about? So and then if you look inside that, they talk about the full account, whatever, all this matter. Okay, and then um, audited by the Auditor General under the section 16.2. Don't need to be audited by the uh, um, Auditor General. So therefore, from there you can see that Auditor General is the external auditor for the public sector. This is not the internal. So if you look from the structure, you may say that accountant general is the sorry, auditor general is sorry, you talk about the national audit department is the um, government agency. Yes, it is a government agency, but we are not talk about the agency. Agency, how can, if agency do it, this is we call the internal. But you can see and you understand that this is talk about the auditor general. Auditor general is a person, not the agency. This is a person, auditor general. So which is auditor general appointed directly by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong to conduct the audit for the government. So therefore, you need to understand what are the difference between Auditor General and National Audit Department. So this matter we will discuss in the next topic on the auditing. But right now, you need to understand like that. Who are the external auditor? So this is the Auditor General. And then Auditor General, in order to exercise their duties, they will be held by the National Audit Department. So National Audit Department is the subordinate of the Auditor General. So therefore, they are not, by definition and by the concept, they are not the internal auditor. Okay, and then if you look here, you can see that the federal government financial statement are presented following the best practice to facilitate understanding and analysis by the users. So this is what we say that the qualitative characteristic that need to be made. And then the financial statement are comprised of the statement of the financial position, statement of the cash receipt and payment, statement of the financial performance, and note to the financial statement, and statement of the memorandum account for asset and liabilities. So means that in the financial statement, we have the 5 key statement, that is namely SOFP, cash receipt and payment, financial performance, notes, and the statement of memorandum. Statement of memorandum. So later you can see that what are the format which we talk about that. Okay, so this is the content of the financial statement, which is we can omit directly this matter. This is the acronym. So why not we look on the first statement, which is among the information that need to be provide in the financial statement for the uh, federal government. They are comprised of the executive summary, which is this is a summary of the what have been happened, more toward the information, not the statement. Uh, okay, and the second is on the this is audit before audit. That is the what we call the statement by uh, statement by the accountant general statement. This is the page. So that a little bit um, lengthy, yeah. This is the all under the statement of the accountant general. So this is the accountant general report, and then after accountant general report, we have the audit certificate. So yeah, the number 3 statement by the Secretary General and Accountant General of Malaysia. This is only the statement to show the responsibility, and then uh, before there is the uh, Auditor General Certificate. This is the Auditor General Certificate, which is this is talk about the financial statement, Auditor General Certificate about the financial statement. So in simple, this is more toward on the output of the attestation audit. Okay, and then shall we look on the balance sheet or statement of the financial position. So this is the first statement and the most important statement as do mentioned under the Article 97.4. Article 97.4. And then if you look here, you can see that the statement of financial position is very simple. Just consists of the five items. Five items: cash, investment, consolidated revenue account, consolidated loan account, and consolidated trust account. So from there, you can see that first, it is meet the Article 97 on the consolidated fund, and the second is meet on the Section 7 on the consolidated account. So therefore, here is the best way for you to understand the accounting, the account we need to be managed and maintained. So as I showed to you in the previous exercise on the accounting, so why we need to open the three different accounts first before we make a journal entries for each of the transaction. So we create number one, consolidated revenue account, number two, consolidated loan account, and number three, consolidated trust account. Because this account will appear. So if you fail to open this, how can I say that you able to report how much the balance for the consolidated account? You have the transaction, you have the journal entry, but you do know that journal entry belong to which, because you do not open the consolidated account. Okay, and then shall we look on the statement of the financial position for the year 2020. Okay, so you can see here that, as I said, that very simple. We compare similar that the comparative statement current year and then previous year, and then show the public money that is represented by the cash and investment, and then the consolidated fund represented by the CLA, CRA, CLA, and CDA. So, and then you can see that the balance for this. So therefore, if you are required to prepare the financial position for the federal government, I think you are very, very lucky, because it is very, very simple. So very, very simple. Just comprised of the five items. Not like in when you talk about the consolidated account in the private sector, which is comprised of a lot of the account for the statement of the financial position. Okay, but all the item present here need to be detailed out through the notes to the account. Through the notes to the account. For example, if you look on the cash, so cash, before that we look on the cash receipt and cash payment. This is the second statement. Statement of the cash receipt and cash payment. So you can see here on the cash receipt, this is we talk about the cash receipt come from the revenue, come from loan, come from assistance, and then capital receipt, trust receipt. This is we talk about the what we have been practice in the accounting. So as I give you exercise, some of the cash we are generate through revenue. So tax revenue, non-tax revenue. Therefore, when I say that we collect the revenue from direct and indirect tax, you will debit the cash and credit the tax revenue. You are not debit and so you are not credit the indirect and direct tax revenue, because that is we need to show in the um, statement. Okay, and then we also have a revenue from federal territories. Okay, so beside the revenue, second inflows for the cash for federal government is come from loans. Come from the loans. Either we need to separate between the domestic and foreign, because this is a very important. If we have the loans mostly come from the foreign, so that it will show that is how trouble our country are. If they come from the domestic, means that there is the wealth are controlled by local people. And then um, beside the loan, so this is the CRA, this is the CLA, and this is all under the CTA, which is come from the assistant, capital receipt, and also trust receipt. So capital receipt, loan recoveries, you need to understand what is loan recoveries, and then to look on detail, you need to look on the note number 8. But loan recoveries is normally the loan that is given by the federal government to the state government and local government and statutory bodies. So because some of the loan made by the federal government, not for their own, but for the other level of government. So therefore, this matter on the loan and capital receipt, because they are under CTA, you need to look back on the Article 111, which is this is talk about the what we say about the loan made by the federal government. Okay, and then the next one is on the trust receipt. Trust receipt, this is the mostly you can see that it's come from the one of the item is the PFI, PFI, private finance initiative. This is private finance initiative. Normally, there is one of the way the government want to cover their infrastructure project through PFI. This is the initiative by the private, but that is under the government. For example, to develop the bridge, for example, the third bridge for the Penang Island, for example. So the government um, using the PFI, so which is the company um, built that matters, but under the government uh, uh, um, um, guarantee. Okay, and then total altogether, we have the total cash received, and then this is the cash payment. So payments go to the operating, which is this is come directly from the operating, that, but that is the actual. So that is the actual, not the budget. So and then go for the development expenditure. So development expenditure, and then you can see that COVID-19 expenditure, that is the we create the COVID-19, and then domestic loans and foreign loans. So and then you can see that how can loans appear in both sides. So here you have a domestic loan in the cash receipt, cash payment on the domestic loan. This is normal, you see, because when we make loan, we need to pay the loan. So we need to pay the loan. This is normally the loans here on the cash payment. We pay the loan based on the schedule. And similar to that, this is how can you see that foreign assistance. This is also foreign assistance. How to differentiate between this? This is all fall under the CTA. Yeah? Under CTA. This is the foreign assistance, which is as a country that we are under the members of the United Nations. We also give the assistance to the other countries. So the assistance, it maybe come from the multilateral loan or bilateral loan. So this is the cash payment is on the we given to them. Cash receipt we are accept from them. So like for example, Japanese government assist the Malaysian through they are given them the let's say last time I think beginning of this year the government of US give us 1 million amounted of the vaccine this is example of that. So we also provide them loans to them several undeveloped government like for the Cambodia, and so on. Okay, and then capital expenditure, trust expenditure. So this is for the purchase of the financial instrument, which is, as I said that, some of the fund that we have, we are invest uh, through we purchase of the instrument, and then this is a trust. So which is that is come under the similar private finance initiative and special development similar to the cash receipt. So when we receive from there, we also need to pay them. And then at the end, you can see that the cash at the 31st December 26010. And then can you compare on the cash that reported in the balance sheet? So you need to be careful. So under the statement of the cash, statement of the financial position. So we report 26030. And then here must be same, 26030. Because this is the statement that support the cash that we need, that we report in the balance sheet. So please um, understand that even you can see you can provide the balance figure between the debit and credit side, but this figure need to be tally with the detail of that. Okay, there is the second statement on the statement of the cash receipt and payment. So this is the statement of the number 3 financial performance. Statement of the financial performance, it's a little bit different. If you talk about the statement of the financial position, we just prepare the actual figures. But for the financial position, we need to show three figures, the budget figures and the actual figures. So we need to compare. This is for those who are doing the project on the on the performance measurement. One of the way to measure the performance is by we compare between the budget and the actual. That is the way to measure the performance quantitatively, and on the financial performance, measurement of the financial performance. Because when I read some of your what we say the proposal, some of you using the measurement of the ratio. or calculate lah quick ratio, work ratio, and so on. And then you I don't know whether you are understand or not whether that is the ratio is suitable or not. Um, we use that measurement in measure the performance of the government entity. They are not like in the private sector. Private sector, yes, we can use this because private sector looking for the profit, looking for the stability, looking for the what we say on the threat and so on. But other government looking for that matters in their operation. Okay, so financial statement performance, we need to show the budget and the actual for the current year. Besides that, we also need to compare between the current year and previous year. So therefore, you can see that the financial performance revenue minus the operating expenditure and then minus the development expenditure and special expenditure. This is special. This is under the article 102 not 103 contingency 102 unspecified, which is that is happened in the year 2020. 2021 we also have this method. So um, therefore we have if you look on the previous year before that, we don't have this. We have the revenue minus operating minus development. And then second thing, you need to understand why we need to separate between operating and development. So this is we already discussed in the budget chapter, which is we say that operating is to show the efficiency. How efficient the government in manage the operation of the federal government. And then you can see that for those interested, so you can look on the previous year. So you can see that the revenue always surplus when we are compared between the revenue as compared with the operating. But come to the altogether total, so we practice the deficit. We get the deficit because of the federal government development expenditure. And for year 2020, it's more deficit due to the COVID-19 expenditure. Okay, so we get the overall deficit, and then the deficit need to be show the funded by, and then you can see here. So this is funded by the loans and foreign assistance. So meaning that some of that, like as I that COVID and so on, some will get the assistance from the other countries or from the international agency. So we have this matter. And loan recoveries, this is, as I said, that loan given by the federal government to the state, to the local, to the statutory body, and then this particular agency or government pay back the loan. So that is we call the loan recoveries. So they pay back the loan to the federal government, and then this is the amount they are that the government collect or receive for this year 2020. And then another is changes in the cash investment and trust. This is why we have this matter, because you can see that on the year 2020, the government used them some of the trust account, like for example, kumpulan wang amanah pencen (KUAP). So the government used them this trust a fund. That is the fund purposely for the uh, pension, for the pension. So which is like gratuity and so on. But due to the uh, urgency, so the government used that certain amount from this trust, I think around 5 billion, um, taken from there to buy the vaccine for the COVID. So therefore, you can see that this is the negative. That is the negative. And then this is when you compare to the previous year, you can see that it's a very different um, of that matters. So that is the statement of the financial performance. There is a third statement that need to be prepared by the government. And then this is the fourth statement, statement of the memorandum account. Okay, so I think this is the first statement that you are uh, um, um, looking, which is the statement of memorandum account do not prepare by the private. This is only for the public sector, for the federal and state government, for the government. Because first, the government still practice the MCB. So under MCB, you can see that this is actually the what we call the complementary statement for the balance sheet. We need to read together with the balance sheet because in the balance sheet, sorry, statement of the financial position, as I showed to you earlier, so we have only the current asset that come from the cash and investment, and we have the consolidated fund. We don't report even the liabilities and the free asset. So where the liabilities and free asset we need to be report. So this is we report in the statement of the memorandum account. So that is comprised of the memorandum of asset, memorandum of liabilities. And you look here, under the memorandum of asset, so you have the investment. What are the difference between the investment here and investment in the balance sheet? So investment here is referred to the long-term investment. This is long-term investment. And account receivable, which is by right, under the MCB, we don't have the account receivable. But you need to understand, under the MCB, revenue are being recognized based on the accrual. So therefore, we have the account receivable. So when based on the accrual, but the expenditure being recognized based on the cash outflow. So this is the, as I say that this is the best way for you to understand how all what we have discussed before translate into practice. Okay, and then on the liability, so you can see that this is the liability, and then this is one of the I like to discuss detail on the federal debt. So you remember in the 2018, 2019, when the election of the 14th general election, among the issue is there are two parties, the opposition and the government. During that time, still under the Datuk Sri Najib. So there is a conflict between the two figures. What are actually the federal government debt? So because the opposition said we have a trillion, but the federal government said we have around 700 million. So as academician, we need to be based on that because this is the fair and figures. We as accountant, we know. So until year 2020, so we have the 879. But 2021, I think we have near 1 trillion. Okay, so, but the total liabilities, yes, 1 trillion plus. There is total liabilities. And then, as an accountant, I think you need to understand what are the difference between the liabilities and the debt. Okay, so with that, I think we will continue on the next meeting, next following week after break. So with that, our meeting, we will stop here for the first half of this semester. And I hope that during holiday for 1 week, you prepared your report. And then I also, inshallah, by today or tomorrow, I will upload the tutorial one. So which is cover the topic, start the budget until the financial report. So please prepare. Each group only required to submit one answer in the Microsoft Word, not in the PDF. Okay, so with that, I think that's all for today. Any question, class?